The Wincinnati podcast is back. We're going to talk about all things Bengals coming up next.
Coming up.
On the Wincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Wincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.
Welcome back to the Wincinnati podcast. I'm Ace. He is Zim. If you guys are tuning in, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Partner, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I think they can hear us now. So we're back. Not even going to call it a break. We just kind of observing. I think this is one of the first all seasons where I think we've been observing a little bit more than just speaking out on a bunch of different stuff. And a lot of the topics that people are talking about to me are super, super redundant. And so I think me and Ace just been quietly just strategizing in a different way. Because I feel like our duty for me and Ace to give y'all is something, whether it's a guest or information or something, like we like to come up with topics, like whether people realize it or not, we come up with topics that everybody is not talking about. And we're in a weird spot. It's always something to talk about when we're talking Bengals, but we're in a bit of a weird spot, I think.
Nah, for sure. And it's like the offseason where we still don't know if the Bengals are going to tag Trey Hendrickson. Like, that's one thing that came up, is that the Bengals are going to kind of speak with people at the combine, figure out what his market is, figure out what they can do from that standpoint. But it's not a situation where, like Kyle Pitts and like George Pickens, that these things are known as it stands right now. So really, we're just in the kind of an evaluation mode from a draft standpoint. But even that's somewhat hard to do at this point, right? Because you kind of need free agency to establish which direction or point of direction that the Bengals may go in. So like when I say that, like if the Bengals were to go out in free agency and sign two safeties, you know, Caleb Downs from that standpoint, you would think, well, maybe they aren't going with Caleb Downs from that standpoint, right? Like the board starts to open up. So when you get in this kind of situation, it's just a weird situation to kind of be in with the Bengals. And there's a lot of speculation. So let's get into that. So there's been a lot of speculation on what the Bengals could do. We've talked about some of it, but one of the things I think that we have talked about has been who they could be interested in free agency, right? So I've seen a lot of things with Devin Lloyd. I've seen some things with Minkah Fitzpatrick possibly being on the move, possibly being available. Like, who are some of those people, if Joe Burrow was to restructure his deal, that you could see the Bengals spending some money on to bring in?
Like, just in general?
Just in general. It could be free agency, it could be via trade, it could be like whatever you think.
I think the conversation to me starts off with this is the thing that I think that I've been raising the question. I think other people have been raising the same question. One thing that stands out to me is the restructure of Joe Burrow, right? Mm-hmm. Because when Joe Burrow was signed, we knew that there were different contingencies later on where they could pull money out and then, give themselves more salary cap. And I think we're now there. We're there. And the reason why we're there, and I'm pushing it a lot more, or I'm thinking about a lot more, is because just coming off of no playoffs, it's very clear, 3 seasons consecutively with no playoffs, it's very clear that the Bengals need to go and make a play that's bigger than normal. Now, does that mean you got to get a Max Crosby? Maybe so, maybe not. But the other way you could supplement it to me is restructuring Burrow. Jamar is also an option as well, too. But I would start, I don't want to be greedy. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you were to do that, I think the conversation on who I would pick up is different. right? Because if I have an extra $23 million or so, that could represent 3-4 players. So if they don't do that, and the reason why I'm gonna bring this up too, I said this earlier today. Isaiah Likely is a guy, right? Now, I haven't heard anybody talk about him that much. I'm just gonna bring it up just for instance. If you have a Burrow restructure, if you don't have a Burrow restructure, you can't get an Isaiah Likely, right? I think his value on the open market is probably, in my mind, like $8.25 million, which is higher than what they just spent on Noah Fant. But Isaiah Likely is a lot younger. He can line up in line. He could do a lot more for you. And he proved with the Ravens that he could block. He makes the statement today or whatever it was yesterday saying that Baltimore's always home, but this is business pretty much signaling he's gone. Baltimore can't tag him. They don't have the space or whatever to do so. So he's hitting the free market. Now, he wants to attach himself to a team that can throw the ball. You're probably saying, Zim, why are you even talking about offense? Because I think that the restructure of Burrow could make the offense so potent, right, that that's an extra person that you could get. But if you don't restructure them, everything about free agency is all defense to me. And then the guy that I would say is Brian Cook, Leo Chenal. Like I've brought, if it's not, I'm gonna get away. I'm not gonna say Leo Chenal. I'm gonna say Quay Walker. Let's say Quay Walker.
Okay, I was gonna say Cincinnati Chiefers. What are we doing?
Let's say Quay Walker, Brian Cook. Defensive wise, Clavon Chason, somebody like that. Let's just go with those three, right? To me, that alone is a pretty good offseason. I expect that. And then, of course, Dalton Reisner. Like, I expect that. Even what I just said right there, they still would have cap space left. But imagine you could do that. With a Burrow restructure, you could do that. You could add another piece on offense. So now you're not relying on how good is Eric All coming back. Also, the reports recently came out about Chris Jenkins and people speculating on him like this is a make or break year. How about if you push that defensive line room to the point where like Chris Jenkins is fighting for his life? Like, to me, that's the difference between Super Bowl aspirations and just being able every offseason be like, man, all we need to do is have a 20-something ranked defense. That hasn't worked. That's not going to work.
Nah, I feel you, bro. I think from my perspective, obviously, like this is a weird part of the offseason. So if you were to get a Joe Burrow restructure, I think that open, and I think like I've been talking about the tag and trade with Trey, right? So I think that opens some things up as well. But I think one thing that you kind of talked about is a way where you could get Trey and Max. I think would be definitely be under a Joe Burrow kind of restructure. There's some kind of pending cap casualties out there. Some people have talked about Denzel Ward, right? Like some people have talked about Minka Fitzpatrick. I think that's a world where you could make 2 signings possibly like that happen as well. So like it really just depends on what Joe's willing to do. And I think today we just saw Pat Mahomes restructured and saved, I think the Chiefs like 40 something million or something like that. So like I think Joe Burrow will be willing to do that, right? Especially if it's for the right defensive player. It can't be for, mid defensive players or them just concentrating on the defensive players that we have here and extending them. It has to be that we're bringing somebody in from that kind of perspective for that to happen. I would do that for Devin Lloyd. I think you kind of talked about like Devin Lloyd being a top free agent. He's going to command that money, right? He might not be willing to take a discount as it stands right now. So somebody like that, you would have to do that for, or if it's some kind of trade that may happen. You talk about Chris Jenkins. I'm going to be honest, man, like nothing against Chris Jenkins. I'm not sold on Chris Jenkins. I'm going to be real. Like I'm not, holding my tongue or anything like that. But I felt like that about Chris Jenkins last year. I didn't see anything from the rookie year for me to not want to draft a Walter Nolan. I don't see anything from Chris Jenkins now that would make me not want to trade for a Jeff Simmons, not want to take, the kid in the draft out of Clemson. I think he's better than Chris Jenkins. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know he might not come in and immediately, get the sack production that we're looking for, the 8 to 10, but I still think that he's better than Chris Jenkins. And so, for me, like some of these players on the roster defensively are not going to stop me from going after what may be out there. Just the same that I would say as none of the safeties on the roster would stop me from going and getting a Caleb Downs, right? Like that's not going to stop me from that standpoint. Whatever the Bengals do, they just have to do it from a defensive standpoint to improve the defense. And I think if you're talking about moving that around a Burrow restructure, I think he'd be open to it. If you're talking about it being a restructure from an offensive standpoint, I don't think that he would do that because the offense is set. The offense is there. The offensive line is better, right? They do need a Dalton Risner. So, like, Dalton Risner needs to be in that part of it. But what do you think about some of those Cleveland guys, right? You got a guy like Joe Antonio, literally the whole Cleveland offensive line could be gone. I love Risner, but if you got somebody like a Joe Antonio out
I
there,
still prefer Risner. I feel like, bro, he was the 4th highest, graded, pass protector from the guard position in the NFL. I think Batonio knows all those dudes in years past. I would have like, heck yeah. But now that I've seen the guard play and I've seen them next to Armarius Mims, and I've seen the players on the team say like, nah, that's the guy that we need back. I just think that's a no-brainer to just go with that. Will Batonio and those guys work? Sure. I just think that Risner, we need to create a system also for the players where they get like, that's a low-level move. That's like a $6 million per. Like, I think I read the other day, they saying 7. I think he's more like $6 million in my mind.
He's probably cheaper too. He's probably cheaper and Batonio is a little bit older. He's 34. Wyatt Teller's 31. So Dalton Risner will work, and I don't think it would cost you too much money. He obviously has said that he wants to be in Cincinnati. So I'm with you. That makes sense.
That, and the money makes sense. Everything about it just makes sense. And one thing that I noticed that really good teams do, and you see the Patriots do this earlier today, Mac Hollins was 4 receptions short of like a postseason bonus or something like that. They gave him $400K just despite, even though he didn't hit on the mark that he was supposed to. Why is that important? Because it's setting an example that guys that do everything in your system get rewarded. And even if they get close to it, it's just a great gesture. So now everybody's seeing it. I think Risner is it's not like Jamar Chase getting paid. Everybody on the team is going to be like, yeah, well, I mean, that's Jamar Chase. Like, he's getting paid $40 million. Like, duh. You know what I mean? That don't got nothing to do with me. I think the other players, especially on the offensive line or defensive line or anywhere on the team, could say, well, there's a guy that came in, did everything the right way, and the Bengals rewarded him. And it doesn't cost them that much to do so. So I think also, like, just from a bonding instrument, I think it also helps as well, too. The Burrow restructure thing, I heard you say the thing saying, well, I don't think he would do it for the offense. I need everybody to understand that Burrow restructuring doesn't mean that he takes less money. I need everybody like on board to understand, like, watching this. When I say that he should restructure, it's just the easiest way I can say it. It's a mechanism that allows us to get more salary cap. His money does not change. What they would do is give him a prorated, like a signing bonus, to now push that cap hit to a further year. But you're giving him a signing bonus of, let's say, $20-something million. I think his restructure was like 23 or something like that, between 18 and 23. You're giving him a check right now and saying you don't got to wait till 2027. So already he's going to be like, yeah, give me the check. Now, from a cap standpoint, it pushes it now to the next year. But as we know, the cap rises each year. Where the Bengals haven't done it in years past is because you might have a player that you're not sure that he's going to be on your roster the following year. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think that comes from. But Joe Burrow is going to be here forever. So it's like, you might as well do it. Same thing with Jamar Chase. And I was just saying an example of an Isaiah Likely player like that, because you then wouldn't have to go to the draft. To me, the only players on offense that they should be looking at in the draft would be one offensive lineman with, whatever. And then it might be round 6 for all I know. and then maybe a tight end, because Eric All is your only inline tight end currently right now on the roster outside of Sample. And you don't know what Eric All is. So to me, those are the only two positions. And then, of course, I might be looking at a running back or something like that. But I was saying likely as an example, because if you had extra $20-something million, now you could shore up something like that.
For sure. So I went and found some cap casualties, and it's funny because this was posted back on January 8th, 2026 by Over the Cap. And a lot of these people, some of them have already been cut. So I've seen some guys listed here like Tyreek Hill, Mike Dana, who just got cut. So listening to some of these names, is there anybody that intrigues you from this standpoint? L'Jarius Sneed. You got Jalen Johnson. You also have, let's see.
I would love Jalen Johnson. I don't know what that price tag gonna be though.
Marshawn Lattimore. Well, obviously they feel like the price tag is too high for the team, and they would be considered to cut these people because they would be able to get, a ton of cash back from that standpoint.
Kind of like the what's really happening with Minka and Tyreek Hill and all these guys like that. I definitely understand that. The Jalen Johnson one, like, to me, before what happened is the guy that they paid the 1-year deal stepped up. I can't think of his name, escapes me right now, but he stepped up. Now he's looking to get almost $16 million. Dude signed a 1-year, $1 million contract and balled out this past season. And I think that they're probably interested in keeping him and maybe moving on from a Jalen Johnson, which is understandable. But Jalen Johnson, Bengals don't have Jalen Johnson money. I like Jalen Johnson a lot. That's why I'm saying that.
Frankie Louvu, Marlon Humphrey.
Love Frankie Louvu.
Let's see what else we
got. If you're in a draft, because there's a lot of people that love the draft, right? And we like the draft too. If you're into Sonny Styles and all these guys like from a linebacker position, Frankie Louvu is a guy that's already in the league that does not get a lot of press. That is perfect. Like you literally let him go around the formation. He can play in coverage. He's an enforcer. He will kill somebody out there. Frankie Louvu is a guy that the Bengals need. I know that's not a household name. That's a big hitter, perfect light player.
Uchenna Nwosu from the Seahawks. You've got Jonathan Greenyard. Logan Wilson has got cut. We'll talk about that in a few. Denzel
would be
Ward.
so stupid to cut Grenard. Grenard is like that, bro.
Denzel Ward. These are all people that could get cut, though, bro. Deron Payne, Grant Delpit, like some of these, DeForest Buckner.
I would take everybody you just named.
Malik Collins, like Patrick Queen. Like, these are people that could be on the chopping block as it stands right now. Guys like, now this is the offensive side of the ball. DeAndre Swift. Here's a name Bengals fans remember: Jesse Bates, Minka Fitzpatrick, Tremaine Edmonds. Like, I doubt it happens with Devontae Adams, but
out of everybody you said on that whole list, Minka to me is the name that stands out the most because he's still playing pretty good. I think you might even be higher on Minka than me. But to me, you could still go to the draft and get a Caleb Downs if he was there and not even care about it, because now you have a mentor in the room, and now Jordan Battle is now in a position where he's now fighting for more snaps. Now that room is like superb. And then think about it, Jordan Battle is a guy that's still on his rookie deal. So at that point, you can now kind of figure out after the season like what you want to do. So you give yourself options. That's the reason why I would go with him on that one, is because yes, you are paying him a little bit more, but I think it's kind of justified. Like, you can't justify paying Devontae Adams $20 million just because you want, you know what I mean? Like, it would be no way to. Right. I don't even think you could justify any of the outside corners on there with those price tags of like 18 million and 16. Right. It's too hard.
And a lot of these guys are like anywhere between 27 to 30 years old. So some of that. I forgot to mention Rashawn Gary. He's on that list. James Daniels has already been cut. So like, there's a good number of people that are on this list that have already been cut. Right. So these are guys that could be out there potentially for the Bengals. Maybe you send a late round pick. Maybe you wait until they're cut because obviously they're not going to sign for the same contract that they just had. Right. So it'll be interesting to see what the Bengals do from that standpoint. But before we get up out of here, talk to me about Logan Wilson, bro, because you had some words about Logan Wilson when it happened. And as we know right now, Logan Wilson is back as a free agent now. So talk to me about Logan Wilson. Hold on, can y'all hear them or is it just me?
My bad. That was on me. I don't know if bro gonna be in the NFL this upcoming season, so I wish him the best. I don't really want to like say nothing crazy about him
down or anything like that.
Yeah. I feel I've said on previous shows on what I felt like happened in that spot where he literally could have got demoted for a couple of weeks, probably would have got his job back. Maybe the linebacker play doesn't look, as crazy. And what's so crazy about in free agency, another name I didn't say, I'm gonna tell y'all, Bobby Wagner is a name that I just been like, I don't want old Bobby Wagner. But did y'all know out of all the linebacker free agents, he had the best run defense grade out of all of them? So on early downs and mentorship for two young linebackers, that's actually a guy that now I'm starting to like pay attention to now, like in the twilight of his career. He's a guy that could put the green dot on and get people where they're supposed to go. That's seen everything. Demario Davis is another guy at the linebacker spot too. I think about those guys in that middle linebacker spot that are true green dots that could put those guys in the right direction. The two young guys that we do have, because I do think the young linebackers that we have, I do think that they're going to be good. I think linebacker and tight end is just a tough position to transition from. D tackle is as well too, especially the pass rushers. But I think that both of those guys give us they're very low. Linebacker, I told you this on the show before, is the wage for linebackers is low anyway. I just think it's a no-brainer that you pick up one of those guys. You're not going to go to the draft and get a linebacker after you just drafted two. Teams just don't work that way unless something incredible happened. Like where
Styles?
If Sonny Styles is on the board, I don't think they pick him. I really don't. I think he'll be there, and I don't think there's a chance. I just don't think there's a chance because most teams operate off of a budget per position, and once you use up all that draft capital for that position,
I don't know if Barrett Carter is how I feel about Chris Jenkins. I don't know if Barrett Carter is stopping me from taking Sonny Styles.
Barrett Carter, after 100-something tackles in his first season, is not he's done far more than Chris Jenkins. I'm cool. I don't know what he'll be as a pro. Like that's a different conversation. Like sure. Will he be an excellent pro? I don't know. Like I feel like that has a lot to do with coaching. As far as like a player like Barrett Carter is a lot like Akeem Davis Gaither. I think Akeem Davis Gaither and a guy like Ernest Jones, perfect example. That's a guy that Ernest Jones, now that he's coached properly on a Seahawks team, he stands out. If Akeem Davis Gaither would have got drafted to a team that had a good coaching staff on a good defense, I think we might look at him a lot different. And that's how I look at Barrett Carter. Now, a guy like Knight, I think you saw in the second half of the season, they put him as a strong side Sam linebacker, closer to the line of scrimmage. They realized that he wasn't processing well and then got him closer over there. And now he's almost like a hybrid. He could rush. Those are two things that he did good in college, was rush the passer. He could blitz, and then he could stop the run and be able to, when he's not thinking, he's straight. When he was out in coverage, he looked awful. If Bobby Wagner or somebody like that is next to him, I think that he will flourish, bro. I really think that Knight is going to be good. And it was a linebacker that's in the league right now. It might have been Bobby Wagner. Somebody in the comments tell me a linebacker recently, like an all-pro. Oh, no, it was Fred Warner. Actually brought up, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, brought up Knight is a linebacker that he liked, that he watched this film and actually liked it. So we'll see, like how his career goes.
You're not a Knight guy. I'm not opposed to them, but that they were the worst linebacker tandem in the league last year. Like from an eye standpoint, from like could they take that leap? Possibly. Like I'm not here to say that they can't do it. I think that obviously they're in a difficult situation. The defense was bad when they got here. You know, Barrett Carter really technically wasn't supposed to start, right? Like he wasn't that kind of prospect. I just don't want to fall into the trap where it's like, yeah, I'm not taking a linebacker because I drafted those. Like, and I just can't do that, bro. Not with how like this team has been now. If it's a situation where it's like with guard with Fairchild, yeah, I'm not taking the guard, bro, because Dylan Fairchild was good last year. Like I just don't think that they were good enough for me to be like linebackers off the table for like
What?
Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight. If I can upgrade, I'm gonna upgrade, bro. Because the last thing I need to be doing is saying this time next year, okay, we need to get their replacement or we need to sign somebody to be better than them. And I'm like, I'd just rather us take another because there were rookie linebackers.
Take another linebacker.
Yeah, because I mean, now if we were the Browns,
all the linebackers in free agency, you don't want to just get one of those guys. And
we could get one in free agency, but it can't be like a 2-year or 1-year stopgap guy. It can't be like a who was the dude that was on the Ravens and we brought him in and he was like
Josh Bynes.
Josh Bynes. Nah, I don't want Josh Bynes 2.0. Like,
but
if we're getting somebody like Devin Lloyd. Sure, sign me up. Like he's not a stopgap guy. Like he's a guy that you sign and he's gonna be your starting linebacker for like the foreseeable future, next 3 to 4 seasons.
I'm gonna tell you this: we're on totally the opposite ends of the spectrums on this one. I don't know. We've ever had
linebacker. You like our linebackers?
It's not about do I like them. The conversation has layers. Yeah. One thing is you have to subscribe to, if you're the Bengals, you have to subscribe to development of some sort. Yes, Fairchilds of the world will come in and the kid is going to be a Pro Bowler at the very least, right? Like those are slam dunk picks, but everybody can't be a slam dunk. And so you can't bail on a pick, especially a second round and a fourth round guy. You can't just bail on them because
you're bailing, bro. I'm bailing.
You're not good. The Bengals aren't good enough to bail on it right now in this sense. Now I understand you want instant, bow, right? But that's where the linebacker of Demario Davis, Bobby Wagner, Leo Chenal, Quay Walker, those are all guys that are proven that could come in right now and give you what you want. And it might be 2 years, but the hope is that in a year or two from now you can see more assessment from the two guys that you drafted earlier.
I feel you, but I think the Bengals got to get away from that, bro, because I think when it comes to their defensive hit rate, it's not good. It's not like, and I just feel like a lot of what they did, I feel like they did that last year, right? It was let's get the older veterans out. Let's actually play these draft picks. And we just came to find out that a lot of the draft picks on the defensive side just weren't good. So it's like now we're in a situation. I just don't want to be in another situation where I'm cool with Demetrius Knight being one of the starting linebackers, right? Like I'm cool. Like if you say like out of these 2 draft picks, one of them has to play, but you have to have somebody else with them that's the answer. And whether that's like you said, like if it's Sonny Styles, bro, and like Caleb Downs is gone, and you're telling me that Sonny Styles is gonna be Carson Schwarzenegger or he's gonna be Jahad Campbell, I'm taking that, bro. Like if you're talking about, like we're talking about now, you can't guarantee somebody's gonna be defensive rookie of the year, right? But I don't think it's far-fetched to say Sonny Styles has a way higher ceiling as just a prospect than like if Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter were in the same draft with Sonny Styles, they're not getting drafted over him. Like he's coming off the board before them. So to me, in that situation, it's a best player available situation, and it's almost like you even said, if you got Minka you're still taking Caleb Downs. So
Right.
if you got Sonny Styles there and you got these two dudes like Minka is a good player. Like I don't think that they're on the level of Minka when it comes to linebacker. So I would still take them.
But you're kind of making an argument, and that's what I'm saying is like a proven vet is Minka, right? Minka is what, like 28 or something like that? Like he's not
Minka's 28, yeah. Minka's 28.
okay.
Yeah.
So Minka, in my mind, I'm gonna tell you, I'm just thinking of Minka for like the next 2 years. The same I would be looking about Demario Davis or Fred Warner, like
Fred
maybe
Warner,
it might
Bobby Wagner.
It might. I'm not Fred Warner. I didn't even mean to say Fred Warner. Bobby Wagner, right? Just 1 year, right? It might, but for the same reason why you saying Sonny Styles, like Sonny Styles, yes, as a prospect is better than them, but I can't just put all my eggs, my draft capital eggs in one basket of linebacker, especially since I just drafted it. So it's like now let's put a proven entity next to it, not another unknown. Like Sonny Styles is going to be good.
Do you know what Sonny Styles is? Who is now? Comps don't mean anything, but do you know who his comp is?
Do you know who Bobby Wagner is? Not who his comp is.
Bobby Wagner is. I'm just saying Sonny Styles is comp to Fred Warner. I don't know. Like,
but he's in college. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Why not just give yourself a proven entity? Yes, I know they're older. Why not just give yourself a proven entity, see what happens, and even in 2026, say Barrett Carter doesn't take the next step, then yeah, at the next draft, yeah, I'm looking at linebacker again. But I gotta give him some time to develop. Like anybody that don't hit year one, you're just like, yeah, like I'm on to the next.
I didn't see anything good from them year one, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
100-something tackles.
I saw him going the wrong way on a lot of plays. Like that film does not look good, bro. It does not look. And yes, you can have the tackles. And I said the same thing about Jermaine Pratt, right? But here's the thing: Jermaine Pratt missed significantly less tackles than him. Like it was like their missed tackle rates are completely different. And that's what I tried to tell people. And people killed Jermaine Pratt. But the thing about Jermaine Pratt was he was still top 5 in the league in NFL tackles, like the whole league from that standpoint.
Did you know
to me the linebacker position along with possibly defensive tackle was like the worst groups on the defense last year. Like,
speaking of tops in the NFL, did you know that Barrett Carter and Demetrius Nice finished top 3 in linebacker rookie tackles?
Yeah, because it's linebacker rookie tackles and they played most of the season. So I mean, that's cool, bro. But what about the NFL? They were They were leading the NFL, like regardless of position and missed tackles.
I mean, that's fair. We'll see how it plays out. I'll tell you this. I'm going on record February 23rd. Sonny Styles on the board. Ain't no way in hell Bengals are picking him. So just take him off the draft board. I'm telling you that right now.
So you think the way that the Bengals are looking at it, they're going to be like, oh, we've invested too much at this position. We're out of there.
Bro, we're not even going to be talking about linebacker by the time we go to draft. They're going to have a linebacker on the roster. I promise you. By the time we get,
bro, they better.
I'm telling you, this the worst case scenario. Say they are stupid enough to not get a linebacker before the draft. Because mind you, like I said, Leo Chenal, Quay Walker, guys like that will be there. Also, like you said, what's bro from the Jags that I really do want. That would be the splash signing. That's what I would really want to do, right? But it would take up a lot of the cap, right? But I do think you get like a Demario Davis. I do think you get a veteran linebacker before the draft. And then by the time we get to the draft, you're going to say your middle linebacker is Demario Davis for this year. Your Sam linebacker in reduced snaps is going to be Demetrius Knights. On third down, he'll be on some of them, right? You're primarily going to go nickel. And then Barrett Carter is now in that ADG role. And you're really not even going to really see him that much until it's time to spy on quarterbacks or you're in games where it's heavy pass packages, and it's now starting to click for him. If it doesn't click for him, then they probably don't even play him that much. So it's not really about like starting. I just think that by having a veteran middle linebacker that's good, I think both of their roles already are going to be reduced some, just in that in itself. Now, if somebody got hurt, then yeah, they're going to get called up again. They're going to get called up again. But I think you'll go into the draft and say, well, Bobby Wagner is our middle linebacker. Why would we be drafting Sonny Styles? I literally think February 23rd, I'm telling you that right now.
In the event that they don't have that veteran linebacker. And
Sonny Styles is on the board?
Yeah.
If Sonny Styles is on the board with any of the edge dudes, any of the Caleb Downs, you're not getting Sonny Styles. The only way Sonny Styles would be you could get him are all crazy scenarios. They're
like,
all
yeah.
That's like every Bain, Bailey, Downs, everybody's gone, and they don't like none of the offensive linemen. And they don't like none of the, because remember, in that scenario, they would have their choice of McCoy and the kid from LSU, Manor, or whatever his name is. You will also have the best cornerbacks on the board. There is no world that Sonny Styles. Now, a team that doesn't have no linebackers.
The situation is when Bain is gone, Downs is gone, and instead of the Chiefs taking that running back, they take Downs, and then you're looking at. So maybe it is a situation with Bailey, right? Maybe it's a situation with Bailey there and Downs, or not Downs, Styles, and what's the other one? What's the one that I don't really want? Who's the dude that I don't want? That I think he's an edge rusher and people
Bailey?
No, not Bailey. The other one where everybody's like, we don't want him. If chat,
Falk. You talking about Falk from
Hendrick
LSU?
Falk, bro.
Yeah. All right. So say Falk and Sonny Styles is on the board. Of course, I want Sonny Styles, but I don't see a scenario in my mind that one of them edge rushers on there, one of them corners is not on the board or Downs. To me, that's where I think the Bengals are looking at is one of them edge rushers, or let's say they're really high on Peter Woods.
Peter Woods is there.
I was gonna say, or I think Peter Woods at 10 is too rich for my blood. But let's say that the Bengals have done their correct assessment and they like Peter Woods. If Peter Woods is on the board with bro that we've been talking about, Styles, you're getting Peter Woods. There's like a 1%.
In that situation, are you trading down? Like in that scenario, is it like
I would love to. I don't want none. If it ain't one of them edge rushers or Caleb Downs, I don't want no parts of pick number 10. I'm trading back in all.
Then you also got Caleb Banks, right? Like, and that's a little too early for him. So
I
think in the scenario with Sonny Styles, even if you don't have a line, you probably still trade him back.
Now I'm gonna tell you another thing that they could do. We talked about it briefly. Trey Hendrickson picked up steam. Eagles have multiple third-round picks. They say that the Eagles are a potential suitor. Bet here, run it. Give me the third-round pick. Now I got the third and a second, and I got 2/3, a second, and a first. I can trade back. I could trade back up. I could do whatever I want if I have an extra third. And that's where the conversation is about. Like Banks, I would take him at the end of the first. I know some people don't believe in him into the second. I would take him at the end of the first just because of his size profile is the same as like Chris Jones. And I think the upside on it, I like it. It's not enough, but if I felt strong about it, that's a guy I would do. Peter Woods, I would take anywhere after 14, 15. With all that's going on with Matt Abuke with the Ravens, I don't think Peter Woods gets past 14. I really don't.
So you mentioned you know who I would want from Philadelphia, but we're not gonna go with the inside jokes. But what about? I'm not even talking about him. Think about the other one, Trey Hendrickson for Jordan. Would you be down?
Hell yeah!
Top of that.
Jordan Davis was made for the North. I do want to get to the super chat. I am 787. Appreciate you. He just said, "Hey fellas, what's up?" Appreciate you checking out the show. I know we ain't been on here that much lately, so we try to pick it up. But I think that that here's another super chat too. NB34012. He says, look at Jared McCoy tape. He's the best prospect in the draft. Hips like Shakira at corner. It's crazy. I like that comment. McCoy I'm starting to like him a lot. I think I'm not mad at McCoy, but the problem is, and Ace is going. I haven't talked to Ace about this, but I know he's going to say what I'm about. Well, let me see. McCoy or Minor, the cornerbacks are like those are slam dunk corners. If they were to draft those corners, would you be in favor of the Bengals drafting them at pick 10?
Yes, bro. I know a lot of people are not. I would be in favor of it because you can never have too many corners, and corner is a premium position. Like, if you're telling me that one of these kids are going to be a number one corner and you can add them to the Bengals defense, and it's someone that you can have for a cheap amount for quite some time, and they end up being that guy. You tell me that this guy's going to be Leon Hall. Like, I know he's not super athletic, but you tell me he's going to be Leon Hall, I'm taking him, bro.
Perfect. But this is the thing. This is the next part of that conversation. Now, history has shown us what happened in this next scenario. What's going to happen to Dax Hill and DJ Turner?
I think if it's me, I'm a DJ Turner guy. So, like, if Dax got to go, it's got to be DJ Turner for me.
See, this is the thing. I want the Bengals to solidify both of them. I want both of those guys re-signed. And what the Bengals aren't going to do, and they've shown us that with Jonathan Joseph, they've shown us this in the past. If they were to draft one of those corners, they're going to let Dax or DJ, it's probably going to be Dax, they're going to let him walk. And I think that's a mistake. I think Dax and DJ, they finally have legit corners on the outside that are proven. They've proven it for 2 years straight. People forget when Dax and DJ Turner got hurt in 2024, they were playing really, really good. I was about to say basketball. We were talking basketball. They were playing really good ball. They've proven for 2 years that they're legit on the outside. You don't really need to go and get another corner to take away from them. Now, would I be in favor of bringing in McCoy or Minor? Sure. But just understand that the Bengals are going to pick, and I don't want them to. I want them to keep all three, and now our cornerback room is elite, and that's my only problem with drafting a corner in the first.
You talking about Mansour from LSU?
Yeah. So if him or McCoy, the Bengals are then going to say, well, Dax or DJ, one of y'all not getting re-signed, and they're going to take that money and they're going to use it for another position because they're not operating like how I'm operating. I'm trying to stack the room. So if Dax on some snaps is on the outside, sometimes he's in nickel, whatever. And I got Jalen Davis, and I got bro. I'm thinking we got the best. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Here's the thing: Dax is already exercised for next year, right? So he's got to play no matter what next year. So they could
contract year though.
They could extend DJ Turner, have Dax for that 1 year, and then go grab Mansour, and for 1 year have three top flight corners at the same time. So that I'm
trying to lock in, brother. Listen to me. I want both of those guys extended. Pause the same way that they did Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I want the presser with those two. And the numbers are much lower. So you knock those guys out now, and one of them goes down or anything, you got McCoy or Mansour ready to go too. Now that to me is what they didn't do on defensive tackle. They walked away from a guy and they said, okay, well, Sheldon Rankins, you come in here and then we just going whatever. Sheldon Rankins is not a bad idea if you pair him next to DJ Reader. But what happens is the Bengals don't give themselves contingency plans. And so what they would do is go draft that dude and say, yeah, see you later, Dax. We're going to get that 1 year, just like y'all did get 1 year Jesse Bates. And then they're going to say bye-bye, right? And then if one of them dudes go down, now we back to square one. Lock in both of them dudes. Get them locked in on the outside. Make Buddy, Mansour, or McCoy, make them earn their keep like rookies. Treat them like the ballers that they are. But make them earn their keep, make them work for those snaps. But now your cornerback room is one of the best in football. And that's what really good teams do. And they won't do that. And that's the only problem that I have with drafting one of them corners in the first round. See, if they did it in the second, third round, or even like third, fourth, we got no issues. The Bengals still gonna lock in Dax and DJ. But they get a guy in the first, they're gonna be like, oh hell no, because we ain't trying to pay Dak. They gonna be like, we ain't trying to pay that dude.
But when
later
you talk
on,
about like you said with the linebacker situation, and Bengals already drafted 2, so they're not gonna do it. The Bengals have a history, bro, of paying one corner and redrafting another one, and it's usually in the first round. It's usually in the first or second round that they do it. So it'll be interesting.
If that's the way the board falls, then let's run it. I just want Dax. I guess my underlying
Dax and DJ there. Yeah,
I think it makes us this rhetoric that we have around our fan base of all we got to do is be a mid-level defense. I hope that is over with. I hope that's over with, right?
Yeah. Because
even the offense, I'm not even satisfied with saying, man, bro, we got everybody. We straight on offense. We got where was that offense when our season was on the line and we scored 0 points? Right. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't us acting holier than thou at any point on this team is not good enough. And I think that we've shown that in the last 3 seasons. If Joe Burrow goes down, if T goes down, or we're not the same. And so the way that really good teams supplement that
was crazy.
Like, when they go down with an injury, you have to come back with a supplement to say, this is another answer that we have. If you go watch like a lot of these guys, like the Bears guy, his name escapes me. I don't want to butcher his name. Go look him up. His big offseason acquisition for the Bears was this dude, that they paid $28 million for. Buddy tore his Achilles, but they had other contingencies behind him, and the Bears pass rush wasn't excellent, but at least they had people in place. And the Bengals aren't currently right now. Your person in place is Marco Wilson. Like, does anybody think that you can go to a Super Bowl or make a Super Bowl run with that? You can't. And then we're sitting around saying, like, why we ain't got no all pros? Why we ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to raise the room. You got to raise the room all around. That's why I started off the show talking about tight end. Like, y'all want to roll out there with Drew Sample again? Like, say Eric All isn't 100% when he come back. Y'all know the way that they use Gesicki as a slot wide receiver. You really don't really have like a true inline tight end. Noah Fant was supposed to be that. Maybe they re-signed Noah Fant. I don't think he was that bad. I'm not really interested in Noah Fant coming back. But currently right now, as good as y'all think the offense, or as good as I think the offense is, I think that Drew Sample is not good enough. I really don't. And so, yes, the defense is bad, but you got to attack every single position on this team, because you just missed 3 straight pro seasons, so you don't have the luxury to look past anything. Even swing tackle, Cody Ford is not good enough. Like, that's not good enough. There's hella dudes when you go through that list. Elijah Vera Tucker is really a good swing tackle that the Bengals should be aiming for. Maybe you're paying $4 to $6 million for, or something like that, a little bit more than Cody Ford. But I'm not cool with when somebody goes down on the football field with an injury, then coming back with Cody Fords of the world. Like, that's we just did that. We just did that, bro.
Don't sleep on Cody Ford, bro. Don't forget, he almost scored a touchdown. Cody Ford came out here.
brother. Not only am I sleeping on Cody Ford, I'm hibernating on Cody Ford. All right. So yeah, that's my.
They just got to put him. That's your tight end right there, bro. Get Drew Sample out of there. It's Cody Ford.
I thought you was about to say that's our wide receiver 3. Hey, let me ask you this. I've seen a bunch of scenarios with this. Would you be willing to trade Yoshi for, let's say, a decent, just an average defensive tackle?
Trade Yoshi for a defensive tackle? When you say average, how many
it is complex.
How many sacks is he getting on the season?
All right, I need to give you like a real player.
Yeah. Like, are we saying 5 to 6 sacks on the season? Like, what is that's
maybe what Malik Collins gave the Browns last year, like somewhere around there. I don't know how many sacks he had. I've seen this trade proposal happen a couple of times. So I was just thinking, like,
man, Yoshi's my guy, but bro, if they can get a very solid defensive tackle that can rush the passer, that's gonna be. And I feel like, not saying that they could bring anyone in to play third receiver, but I feel like you can go out and draft a third receiver that could come in and do some things. So yeah, Malik did have 6.5 last season. Yeah, I would.
I think he had a season. Did he tear his ACL or something at the
I think
end?
he did get an injury. You're right,
Okay.
and I think he is 30. But if you're talking about somebody like that may be, let's say, 26, 27, yeah, I probably would do it from that perspective, just because I need that quality and that pass rush from the defensive interior line more than I need. I think that's been harder for the Bengals to find more than wide receiver 3 has been defined for them.
Comment in here. Shout out my man Bruce. He said we need a shifty receiver. I'm gonna give y'all a name, Tutu Atwell. I think that's a guy that's out there that I think has an opportunity. I think
R.I.P. Rondale Moore, man. That was crazy.
R.I.P. to Rondale Moore for real. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. A Bengals fan I know literally told me last week, like, man, we should pick up Rondale Moore. That's insane. So, if you know anyone that's going through anything, or you don't know of anyone going through something, make sure you reach out to people, man. Talk to people, ask real questions and really check on your folks, man, because that is a tough situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But there are some players out there, man. I'm telling y'all, man, like, dude, that 0 points in that game, I don't know why that just sticks with me. And then losing to the Browns, like how we did at the end with our guys right there. I know that I know I'm in the minority just speaking about offense, but I don't think our offense is championship level. I really don't.
Because I think one thing that I think me and you have talked about is, and Jamar and T have even talked about it, they're gonna double them, right? Like, whoever your third receiver is going to have to be able to be productive, or they're just gonna continue to double T and Jamar. That's gonna be what the defensive game plan is.
I'm gonna tell you another name I like too, and he might get a good bag out there, but Cade Otton is another tight end under the radar. That's a big target. Burrow would love him. He's a lot like, he's probably about the same measurables, I think, as Uzama, but big target that hit those seam passes. That's another guy, I think, and you can line him up in line. He's done some really good work in the league. So there's so many guys that, and I guess I'm bringing up those guys because those aren't players that I've been hearing people talk about much, because everybody's so hyper focused on the defense, rightfully so. You fix the defense, you're back in the playoffs. But I do want people to understand, though, if they were able to restructure Burrow, you should start looking at a couple of other players as well too, because those players I really think are going to matter later on. I really have a feeling like, it's really going to matter. I'm not as hopeful as I've been, I think, in the last, years or whatever. I'm kind of in wait and see mode. However, I do think that the Bengals will be active in this free agency. And I do believe Duke when he says that they're going to do something to D-tackle. We're waiting on Trey Hendrickson watch now to see, are they going to tag him? They have all the way till March 3rd. I think if they could
tag him, bro. Like, if we being
got to
tag him. You gotta tag him. You gotta get
I would love for somebody to have a conversation with him, though, because I want to know at this point, everybody's assuming it's over. And it might be. I do want to know if he comes out, if somebody were to ask him right now, do you still believe? Remember last offseason, he was saying, I would do anything to have the Bengals win the championship. Now, one season removed from that, and you just got $14 extra million, $30 million, and you didn't play. You said you want to do everything for the Bengals to win the championship. Where are you going to go that could help the Bengals, right? Maybe that's the Eagles getting us to third. But what if the Bengals said, Trey, we could run it back, give you the same offer, the same deal that we tried to get y'all before. Are they so far gone? Because remember, this is the T. Higgins conversation. It was thought that he was gone. They tagged him, changed the agents. Things happen. I don't think that Trey needs to change the agent. But I want to know if what is he saying now? Because the Bengals didn't do wrong by him. Remember, in this whole conversation, there's a lot of assumptions. But at no point did Zach Taylor, the Bengals, or anybody throw Trey Hendrickson under the bus when they could have, when he opted not to get the surgery initially, and then everything happened. Everybody's assuming. I really would want to know.
The only reason I feel like it's over, bro, and this is just me, is T and Jamar going on Radio Row and not even bringing up Trey Hendrickson. They're already thinking about Max Crosby and Jeff Simmons, and I feel like last year it was very different. It was a lot of people campaigning for let's keep Trey.
Right.
But I think in their head it's like, let's move forward. Like if he's not willing to take whatever it is that the Bengals have, then it's like, bro, let's move in another direction. Like if he's not gonna be that guy, he's not gonna be that guy. And I think a lot of them, I can't speak for the players, right? And I'm not saying that I spoke to any of them and they said anything. So hear me clearly when I'm saying this. But I think they're probably like, they tired of it, bro. Like last year, bro held a whole press conference at practice. They had to answer questions about him.
Right.
I don't think that they're trying to go through a whole nother like offseason of that. I don't think that it's over, but I think in their heads, they're just like, bro, we can't wait for Trey to sign up and like we're just on to the next. Does that mean so like it's interesting because with them bringing up a Max Crosby, do they think Max Crosby is better than Trey, or do they just feel like Max Crosby is somebody that could come in and be there?
I think that they think that Max Crosby is a guy that's obtainable, is what that tells me. Yeah. I don't think that they would just randomly say that. I think that the reports were saying that this is Max Crosby last snaps as a Raider. The report then comes back with the Raiders pushing back, of course, trying to get more value, right? Saying like, no, we want him to be a part of this drink. I think the Max Crosby train is leaving the building, right? And I think that T and Jamar bringing him up is letting people know that that's even obtainable. Like, I don't think that they're just randomly throwing that name out there. But let me just throw this out there for a second. I still was going to do this. I'm going to still give people a video. I have a couple different scenarios. I have one scenario where you could just trade Trey Hendrickson to the Raiders and pair him up with Max Crosby. Go get that pick. Now you got those two boys playing for the Raiders and whatever. No harm, no foul. What I don't want to see is Trey Hendrickson playing for the Baltimore Ravens, rushing against Orlando Brown. That's what I don't want. That is a matchup nightmare, and I don't want to see it. But the one thing I will say is this, and everybody forgets this part. It's two different elements, and I'm going to keep this as short as possible. I promise you. One element is the human element of this thing called guilt, moral code, and different things like that. Again, Trey was given $30 million, and he didn't play. Not trying to tap into religion. I'm not going to do that on this show. But just knowing that and assessing that and then stepping back, I think the average person would say with $30 million, they did right by me. And I think that the Bengals then could come back and say, we offered you a 3-year deal for $95 million. Why is that important? They are rumored that the Eagles would be giving Trey Hendrickson a 3-year deal for $95 million with probably more guarantees, $60 to $7 million guaranteed, whereas the Bengals probably only guarantee 1 year. But the Bengals already guaranteed $30 million in year one, which was 2025. The tag in 2026 is now year 2. So if you put those two numbers together, that's $65 million in guarantees just off that if they offer him the same deal. And you might say, well, I just think we need to move on. I think Trey could look back at this and say, what if the Bengals actually gave me players that helped me and they did right by me? I said I wanted them to win the championship. They're offering me pretty much the same deal that they gave me before. Maybe it's a little less. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a little bit less. I think that the moral code in him will wake up and say, you know what? I think that that's the right thing to do in this scenario. Could another team offer me more guarantees? Could another team offer me $2-4 more million? Sure. But the Bengals gave me $30 million and I didn't even play the whole season. I think that that is a factor, just knowing who Trey Hendrickson is, at least from the outside looking in. That is a factor. And the difference, I think, is now they could go to a draft and say, what if we gave you another edge rusher to put with you? What if we go to free agency, put another edge rusher with you and make you like a third down specialist and just go cook? And then on first and second down, we let Max Murphy, Shamar Stewart, and Kayvon Chason and those dudes do it. You come in, do your thing. You have 15 plus sacks minimum, and you go up and cook. And you're also with the team that you said you wanted to help win a championship. To me, that conversation is still to be had. And from a Bengals standpoint, you might say, yes, I want to move on. But do y'all know who the number one free agent in football is currently right now? It's Trey Hendrickson. So any scenario that you're saying, it could work. It could work. You could give me Draymond Jones and Boye Mafe. You could give me a Dafe Owe and all these. You could mix it all up. But y'all know, like I know. Y'all know, like I know. I'm gonna tell you, and Aces argued this on the show before. Maybe not the best defensive lineman out of all of these guys, but to me, ain't no pass rusher better than Trey Hendrickson when it comes to third down, getting sacks, closing out the game. There's not another pass rusher, and it's a reason why he's the number one free agent in all of football.
That's a great point. He's having that conversation, and this is why I think it's far gone with Katie Blackburn. So I think the way she has that conversation, the way you had a conversation, I think is the way that it needs to be. The way she has that conversation, I just don't know, bro. Like I don't like that, and that's one of the issues that has been with some of these players. They feel slighted, they feel disrespected, they feel lowballed. So hopefully it's that approach that you're talking about where it's like, hey,
lowball. He better not be talking about.
You don't remember where she was like, he needs to be grateful for what we gave him.
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, that would rub me the wrong way, and I definitely wouldn't forget about it. But at the end of the day, my accountant gonna be like, the Bengals gave you $100 million so far, like period. Like you can't take that away, you can't take that back. Y'all could call them cheap, you could say that they're bums, you could kill the Bengals online all day. The Bengals have given Trey Hendrickson just in his career with the Bengals $100 million. So he could say whatever he wants, and he just got $30 million and didn't play a whole season because he got injured. But they didn't have to give him a raise. They didn't have to do nothing. All of these narratives about the Bengals, they don't really hold weight on some of these arguments, but Bengals fans don't really push back enough for me. I'm pushing back. I think that's a major move. And you could say, well, what did they sign him long term? Because the TJ Watts of the world. Boy ain't won a playoff game yet. He's 30 years old. He looking stupid. They gave him $80-something million guaranteed, and they look like idiots. That's why you don't give them a long-term deal with multiple guarantees for a 30-year-old rusher. That's why. I'll give him the deal, but I'm not giving him second-year guarantees. Yeah, now I need to change my name to Zimmy Blackburn. Let's go to the let's go to the
Midwest.
Bro.
Midwest best barbecue. We're gonna toss it down.
Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number fives. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number fives. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number fives. Either way, you'll be winning. And much love to Mama T, Uno and CTB. MB's got Bengals wings, and now we just added T's. 9 to 5 winning things, gritty for Uno wings. We say yes, Sirski now, like Aces and be saying that T got them new wings, only at MB's. Honey lemon peppers, now you can call them T's. Honey lemon peppers, now they call T. Higgins, or you say number fives. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them honey lemon peppers, now they call T. Higgins, or you say number fives.
That was nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. Make sure you stop in and let them know Ace and Zim sent you. Get some of those teas. Get some of those Uno wings. You can't go wrong. Dillinators, whatever it is that you like. Midwest Best Barbecue. Gonna make sure that you guys are taken care of. Before we get out of here, Zim, was there anything that you wanted to say?
Speaking of Corey Dillon, did you all know that Corey Dillon has more rushing yards from scrimmage in his career than Roger Craig, who was just in a Hall of Fame, Mike Evans, Marshawn Lynch, Brandon Marshall, and he's only played in 150 games? Did anybody know that? And also, for my free agent list, I just want to give you a couple of names, just a couple to close it out. Cade Otton is one of the guys I like. Isaiah Likely I would like a lot as well, too. Here's another name, Jermaine Eleanor. That's another guy that could be a swing tackle in replacement for Cody Ford. I do not want Cody Ford to be the swing. John Franklin Myers is another guy. There's another crazy name. He's going to get too much money for us, but Romeo Dobbs. Brian Cook is our number one target to me. You got corners out there like Alante Taylor, who is my number one slot corner. We did sign Jalen Davis, so that's probably not going to happen as well. Also, Tariq Woolen is another guy that's out there. Leo Chenal is another guy that I like. Nick Cross is another guy. The Math the Legend. I'm over here in D.C., Maryland area. Nick Cross is another guy, only 24 years old. I think that's another name to keep an eye on. Quay Walker, linebacker. I got a list. We're going to go through it. We're going to do a lot of stuff this offseason. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and before we get up out of here, prayers and thoughts with our good friend Willie Anderson. He came out with the news publicly about his issues with his kidneys. He does have a donor. He's prepping for surgery, so make sure you guys are praying for him that goes smoothly. But shout out to you guys for tuning in to the Wincinnati podcast, and we will catch you guys next week. Coming up on the Wincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Wincinnati.
You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.